Valentine Solutions Group Family Channel, where we show you guys our family and we hopefully give you guys keys to how to keep your family together, whether you're a minority or you whatever else. Everybody's welcome here. So I actually took notes this time because this is somewhat of a structured topic, and I don't want to, go too crazy. So I outlined some things to talk to y'all about. We're just going straight off the dome. There's some things that I've done, some pretty good research on, and I just wanted to talk to y'all about it because I know, especially as black men, it's something that we all kind of suffer from. So I was at the shop. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows I'm a barber at this point, and I was talking to one of my clients, and we were just talking about the lack of black families. He was telling me he was going through a divorce, and I was asking him, did you ever thought, that she would do you like that? And he was saying, absolutely not. And he was talking about, he stepped out and all that type of stuff, and she doing her own thing now, life. You know what I'm saying? Because life happens, especially when you do things that, have the potential of having bad karma. Because I believe in good karma and I believe in bad karma. But at this point in my life, I ain't doing nothing to give me some bad karma. Like right now, my family is in Florida, for my girl's mom's birthday. I gotta stay here and work. But ain't no way I'm gonna be doing something that I don't have no business. And it's not just because of my relationship. It's because the simple fact that I don't want no bad karma. Straight up. Let me get this back for a second. I just really don't. I don't want any type of bad karma on me. And as we were talking, he was basically saying like, it's a lack of manhood in our communities, and he was absolutely right. He was talking about how when you look at TV, when you look at the news, when you look at social media, when you look at all these platforms, it's very rare that you see a outlook of a black family where it's, you know, people staying together, people riding stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time it's just drama, baby daddy stuff, you know what I'm saying, baby mama stuff, some wild stuff. And that's how people generalize us, and that's what people think about the black family. So I started doing research, and I'm like, yo, there has to be like something when it comes to black masculinity. There has to be something, whether it's a book, which there are plenty of. There's plenty of books. Whether it's articles, because I'm big on reading. Whether it's podcasts, and it's a podcast called Black Married and Debt Free. Y'all need to check it out. But I need to find something. So I'm on YouTube, I'm on Google, and I'm going through the motions of researching. And I passed this video, and I think his name is Mitchell Chance. And he basically gave the 7 A's of how to be, a successful black man, how to establish your manhood as a black man. And I wanted to basically relay his message to you guys because it was helpful to me, and I figured it could be helpful to y'all. But before I go into that, I want to talk about, my background and where I come from as far as fatherhood and childhood. Right now, I have a 2-year-old son. He is, people call it stepson because he's not my biological son. But I don't treat him like that. I don't really feel. I never understood the stepson thing. I really didn't know how to be a stepdad. The only thing I could do is be a dad. Even though it wasn't something that I was taught, at one point I was, and it's in me at this point. So, a little background about me. My dad died when I was 2 years old. drug lord, you know, gang stuff as usual. He was on his way to come pick me up and my brother, and he was going to take us to the fair. My brother, he's named after my dad, even though my dad isn't biologically his dad, but he took care of us both the same. So, and typically my mom said I was with him more than I was with her. So he was a great father. On his way to come get us, you know, unfortunate happened. It was in the newspaper and everything. He basically got, what they call it? What's the term for it? Not a hit and run, a drive-by. So it was one of them, and he died on the way to the hospital. So, coming from that background, I did have, you know, my mom got married at one point. I did have a stepdad, absent. He was, you know, in and out, didn't stay around. And those were my presentations of manhood. Now, with those being my presentations or models of manhood, when I accepted the fact that I was going to be with Jen, I first had to accept whether I was willing to be a father figure or not. Because when I met her, we weren't on anything serious. But as it started to get serious, it would be times where she would be like, I don't got a babysitter or nothing like that. And with me, if a child is going to be around me, I really don't expose myself to children because I'm an emotional person and I get attached to them. I'm emotional on a certain level. I really don't like expressing my feelings, but I'm learning that. But when it comes to kids just naturally gravitate towards me. So I had to figure out if this was something that I would be really willing to do, or, you know, we were going to keep our relationship just what it was at the time. Now I accepted that, but I didn't know what it meant. You know what I mean? You don't know what it is to be a father until you're in it. And now, I met Sean the day before he turned 1 year old, and he's about to be 3 in November. So I think that's crazy that time passes by so fast. But let's get to the seven points of manhood, because they help me out a lot. Accept your role as a leader, meaning that, and I know this, a lot of LGBTQ people watch my channel as well. This is for people who have a masculine energy. It's not just particularly male. I want to say that, but it's for the fellas. I'm gonna put it like that. You know what I mean? So accept your role as a leader, which means it's a lot of times that women are in competition with their men. And I notice a lot because most women didn't have a father who was actually a dad in their life. They are in competition with their man, and they either get with a man who doesn't know how to lead or try to lead the relationship because that's what they've been having to do throughout their whole life. They've never had to have someone who was actually a leader. They've never been with someone who was actually a leader. So accept your role as a leader, which means accept responsibility, basically. You have to be, that's the reason why I didn't want Sean around me till I was able to accept the responsibility of being a man, of being a father. Because I feel like, really, honestly, being a dad makes you a man. Because you start to transition from just being just open-minded about yourself, and you have to start considering others. So, are you willing to accept the role that you're given as a leader? And if you're not, you need to get around people who are leaders. If you don't have no leaders, that's fine. A lot of us don't. But we got the internet now. We have conferences. We have virtual things. We got the Rebuild conference. If you haven't participated in that yet, you can ask me a question. I'll get to you on that too. But accepting your role as a leader, accepting your role as a leader, accepting your role as a leader. I think repetition is key. So, answer the cries of your community. Recently, I went to a charity event, donated, you know what I'm saying, and I used to do it in Texas to where I cut hair for the homeless, and I wanted to be able to do that here. So, answer the cries of your community may be, kids don't have nowhere to play because you're in the hood. So, what needs to happen? A community center. You need to get with some people. Y'all need to set it up. Whether y'all got to go to the, you know what I'm saying, um, go to the state, write some letters, pop up at your local meeting or whatever for your city, and just pitch the idea to people and get it into people's heads. You know what I'm saying? You have to answer the cries of your community. We have way too many homeless people. You need to give to them all of that help. Basically, be a help, be of service. When you are of service, it's next to godliness. I feel like, because it you're not just doing it for yourself anymore. It's a very selfless act. So be of service. Be of service and answer the calls of your community. Answer the cries of your community. The call, the cry, whatever it is. Because sometimes we're called to do stuff and we don't do it. Alleviate the stress from your women. This is the number one thing with me. I have a mom, you know what I'm saying? It was 6 kids, yo. And I refuse to stop until I get her in her own home to where she owns it and no one can take it away from her. I'm trying to make sure she is in good health, all of that. Alleviate the stress from your women. There's no way a woman should have to play the role of a father and a mother at the same time. It's too difficult. That's why you have two parents. You know what I mean? When you sharing a responsibility, it doesn't become a burden on one person. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you have someone else to relieve the pressure. So relieve the stress of your women. Don't let your women be around here stressed, because when they are stressed, they're not able to have that feminine energy. The energy that you love when you see them and she just being beautiful. She can't do that if she's worried. You know what I'm saying? She can't do that if she's worried about bills. That's why you think so many women these days are talking about, I just need a nigga to pay my bills. Of course they need their bills paid, but they're saying that because they're used to taking care of people and they're tired of being taken advantage of. That's why I like what Meg Thee Stallion shit. I just I let my girl have that. Like, you can listen to that music, I get it. You know what I mean? But as long as you don't have that thought mentality, that's a totally different story. Alleviate the stress from your women. Alleviate the stress from your women. The next one is assume your God-given purpose. You, not your homeboy. Not your homeboy. Because sometimes we have homeboys and we want to do what they doing and we want to support them and we leave what we're doing. Your God-given gift. And if you don't know what your God-given gift is, it's time for you to take some time to yourself and think about all the things that you went through in your life. Me, I did a time lapse of my whole life from 0 to 28. It was very long, but within that, it made me realize what my gift was. So maybe that'll help you. Figure out what your God-given gift is. Whatever people say about you a lot. Like, you always doing this, bro. Bro, every time you come over here, you do this. You so good at that. Pay attention to those things and figure out how you can use that gift and be of service to others. Because like I said, service is next to godliness. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but my goal is always to do what God wants me to do. At the end of the day, I'm a human being. I have moments, but my goal every day when I wake up in the morning and I write down those 10 things that I'm grateful for is to honor God by being of service. Be available. Available means don't leave that woman to take care of your kids. And just because she puts you on child support, and she won't let you see your kids, does not mean don't fight for them. Because at the end of the day, when y'all bickering or whatever, the kid is seeing everything. You know what I mean? Make sure you're available emotionally too, and I'm working on this. I'm working. I'm trying. It's hard to do something when you haven't been taught how to do it. So that's why I go through the process of seeking help, whether it's counseling, whether it's a program that I can use that will help me emotionally, whatever it is. But be available. That also means be there for your children emotionally, and I have to get used to this. I was uncomfortable with allowing my son to kiss me. And whether whoever this is watching it, whether you admit it or not, a lot of y'all go through that. A lot of y'all go through how, and this is the example that Mitchell gave. How come if your daughter's 2, if your daughter's 16, if your daughter's 25, you will be able to openly hug her, give her a kiss on the cheek, all that openly. But when a little boy gets to a certain age in the black community, you can no longer, you can't hug your father, you can't give him a kiss on the cheek, you can't do none of that with him. That's out, bro. We gotta stop doing this because it's a generational thing now. We gotta stop doing that. We gotta be able to be open with our children. Still teach them the things that you want to teach them, but don't deny them who you are as a person by being emotionally open with them. Be available, man. Never abdicate. Abdicate is something that I used to do this all the time. But it's basically when you renounce your throne. So if you're a king and you say, I'm done, y'all can have this, I'm out. I'm out. That's abdicating. That's abdicating. So don't abdicate. Stay. Unless it's a toxic situation, then by all means leave and run. For real, because niggas go to jail. My bad, I'm gonna stop saying that. Kings will go to jail over some petty stuff. It happens all the time. I got 2 brothers in prison right now. One just got parole, thank God. But what I'm saying is, bruh, all in all, we gotta wrap this up. It's about to be like 18 minutes. Never abdicate. Unless it is a situation where it is toxic, then you run. If it is something that can be fixed with communication, stay. Stay. And fight. Because love is a battle, bro. I was watching Passion of the Christ the other night, man. All he did was love, bro. All he did was fight. And they still did him dirty, bro. So as a man, you have to say, like, am I willing to make these sacrifices? Take that. I should have been told y'all take a notepad out. Go back and take a notepad out and write these things down. And sit them up somewhere. I always keep the things that I want to remember on a board. I got like 3 of them over there. Put it in your face. If you gotta tape it to the mirror every day, write these things down. Write these A's down. And remember them. And be the man that you want to be for your family. And if you don't have a family, be the man that you want your family to look up to. Just be that man. But that's it. Like I said, it's for the fellas. Go ahead, finish your beer. You know what I mean? I don't even drink beer. It's gonna make my stomach hurt. But I'm feeling it tonight. It's my last night alone in the crib. I gotta, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. Right? Go back, write these things down. For real. I'm serious. Go get the pen and paper right now. Go get it. But alright, man. The Valentine Solutions Family Channel. See y'all soon.